And patients are confused. We hear that all the time about, how people are wondering, should I go to this state or should I cross state lines? So let's talk about your legislation. How likely do you think it will be to pass and become law before the election? I know reproductive rights have become such a hot topic when it comes to the 2024 election. Can we hope to see legislation signed into law before November?
Well, I'm an eternal optimist. I'm also a co-sponsor of the bill, the Access to Family Building Act, which would protect IVF and other fertility treatment services, and also bring some clarity to what happens with eggs and what happens to sperm and what happens when you're trying to, have them and then maybe harvest them and freeze them and keep them, because that's where a lot of the legal nuance is happening. I am an optimist, but I really question whether or not this speaker, has the Constitution and the spine to bring this up. So my hope is that Democrats will win the House in 2024 and take the majority back, and then we are able to bring it up. But until then, we are going to continue to talk about it, and we are going to continue to both encourage and shame Republicans into joining onto this bill and asking the speaker to bring it up. Because remember, there are Republicans that are saying, I support IVF, and yet they refuse to sign on to this bill and they refuse to have it come up for a vote. So that is, to me, an example of folks speaking with forked tongues. And so I'm always about showing the receipts. So if you care about IVF and if you care about women, then co-sponsor this piece of legislation and work to bring it up on the floor.
I asked earlier about compromise. Are there any items in your bill that you'd be willing to take out in order to get more Republicans to the table?
No, because it is a bare bones bill that really just focuses on the basics. We don't have any poison pills in there. It's not talking about abortion. And in my mind, those would be third rail issues for many Republicans that would prevent it from coming to the floor. So we are strictly talking about IVF and access to fertility treatments. Remember, Donald Trump supposedly said he supports IVF. Remember, Speaker Johnson supposedly said he supports access to IVF and other fertility treatments. And that's all the bill says. So if that's what you purport to care for, then this bill is the compromise because it's only talking about those issues.